What's up guys, it's Cutback Thrills, and this is my very first video, and to be kicking off things on this YouTube channel, we're going to be ranking all the coasters at my home park, HersheyPark. So without further ado, let's get started with the intro. Here we go guys. So, at the bottom of the list, we have Coco Cruiser. This is your typical Zamperla your typical kiddie coaster from Zamperla. You know, it's not really anything, insane for coaster enthusiasts like myself and others, but I mean, it's definitely great for the kids and can definitely be their first coaster. So, that's all there is to say about it. So, number 13 on the list is Trailblazer. Now, this is just an average mine train made by Aerodynamics, who is now defunct, and is the only aero coaster at HersheyPark. Now, it's a nice little graceful ride. It starts off with a lift hill and then into a little, I guess, minor, I don't know, like a slow helix. And then it kind of wanders around past Storm Runner and then into the finale, which is a bigger helix, which is the best part of the ride. And I mean, it's also great for the kids. You know, it's an aero mine train, so it's not intense or anything, but it's definitely a good supporting coaster for the kids and the younger ones. Next up on the list is Wild Mouse. Now, this is just your traditional Wild Mouse coaster made by Mock Rides. You know, it's got great laterals on the flat 180-degree turns, and it's got some, I guess, big drops that provide, I mean, just a little bit of airtime, but nothing, major to go crazy over. So, just your average Wild Mouse. Number 11 on the list is Laugh Track. This is a Mauer spinning coaster. I believe it's made by Mauer. It's also indoors. It's has a really silly circus theme that is one of the reasons why I don't really like it that much. But I mean, it's an alright ride. You know, I can't really describe it too much because you're mostly in the dark. But it's an okay ride, but it draws one of the longest lines in the park. And that's why it ranks at number 11. Number 10 on the list is Sidewinder. This is a Vekoma boomerang. It's been cloned, all over the world. It's notorious for being cloned and just for not being a rough ride. The vest restraints on this ride do help it and do give it an advantage over other boomerangs, but I mean, it's still pretty shaky in my opinion. Others don't think so, but I do. But I mean, still, it pulls some pretty good G's on the loop and even the Cobra roll. But yeah, the vest restraints do help, and I think it's an alright ride for what it is. Number 9 on the list is Super Duper Looper. This coaster is made by Schwarzkopf, and it only has one inversion, which is a vertical loop. This coaster is great for the smaller kids, for them to experience the first version. I think it's pretty good overall. Really good loop, especially when it has lap bars instead of over-the-shoulder restraints. Other than that, it kind of meanders around, but it has a good helix finale. So overall, I think it's a pretty decent ride. Number 8 on the list is Wildcat. This coaster is made by GCI. It is a wooden coaster, and it is one of the most pulverizing coasters in this park. Now, I did recently ride this as early as, I think, maybe as of this video being published, like a few weeks ago. And I rode it in the front row, and I think HersheyPark did some track work on it, because I thought it was actually way smoother than I thought it was going to be. So I think it was kind of smooth. It was still pretty rough, but honestly, the roughness didn't take away from how enjoyable it actually really was. So that's why it's higher than most coasters on this list. Normally, because it's always rough, I would put it lower, but honestly, I enjoyed it, so it deserves a spot at number 8. Number 7 on the list is Comet. This is the oldest operating coaster in the park. It's made by PTC. It somehow still manages to be running so smooth. It has great airtime due to its restraints, which is a PTC buzz bar and seat belts. You really feel the airtime with these, and I think it's a classic. It's one of the must-do attractions at HersheyPark, so definitely check this one out. And I love the setting that it's in, how it's right by Skyrush, and it goes under Skyrush too. So overall, really great ride. You should definitely ride it when you're there. Number 6 on the list is Great Bear. This is a invert made by Bolliger & Mavillard, or B&M for short. This is a very unique coaster, as it uses the terrain as it travels along the park. Very different from other B&M inverts, as they only have their plots of land, but this one goes over pathways and other attractions. Pacing is great, the inversions are great. The final corkscrew, I think, is so intense and is really good, and it's really just a great ride that one of my favorite B&M has ever made. So overall, really great coaster. Number 5 on the list is Fahrenheit. We're going to start with this coaster. This coaster is a Intamin Blitz coaster. It's very unique. There's none other really like it. There are models similar to it, like Maverick at Cedar Point, that feature the same trains, but this is very different from Maverick. It doesn't feature a launch. It features a vertical lift hill, 6 inversions, a very intense coaster with a decent pop of ejector airtime at the end. So overall, really nice coaster that I do love getting myself to when I'm at HersheyPark. Number 4 on the list is Lightning Racer. This is a dueling GCI wooden coaster. I personally love this coaster for what it is. So do a lot of enthusiasts, but honestly, at this park, it doesn't get looked to as much as the other ones, especially the Intamins. Those are usually the standout ones at the park. But this one, it sits in the very back of the park. Always a walk-on. Always, I love it so much. I could lap this thing all day. I've lapped it so many times before, in small periods of time. I think it has airtime. People don't think it has airtime, but I think it does, usually when it's running fast and at night. But, it sucks that it's such an afterthought in this park, and that the trains aren't even full all the time, just because no one is ever back there, which kind of sucks. That's the only drawback from not having to wait long in a line for it. So, but overall, I love this GCI wooden coaster. Number 3 on the list is Storm Runner. This is an Intamin accelerated coaster. It starts off with a 70 mile per hour launch in only 2 seconds, which is crazy. It's such an adrenaline rush, followed by 3 unique inversions, starting off with a Cobra Loop, an inline twist, and the Flying Snake Dive. When I say this coaster is unique, I mean it. A lot of these coasters at HersheyPark are so unique, which is so cool about having HersheyPark as my home park. But yeah, Storm Runner, awesome ride, so unique, such a rush, and I think it's just a really, really cool ride to have at this park. Number 2 on the list is Candemonium. This is a B&M Hyper, which was added last year as of this video, so in 2020, and this is a great B&M hypercoaster. It's got plenty of floater airtime, it's got a great camelback, great other floater hills. I love the speed hill, which is great. The helix has some pretty great forces with that as well. Also a unique factor when it banks outwards from the helix. I think that's pretty cool. And then going around the Kisses Fountain is just such a cool feeling. Just watching that as you circle around that is so cool. So I think this is a much needed addition for the park. So definitely deserving of the number 2 spot. We finally made it to number 1, and my favorite coaster at HersheyPark is Sky Rush. Now what makes this so much of an awesome coaster is, here I'll run it by the layout. So it's an amazing first drop, bank rightwards into the first ejector airtime hill, which is just full of ejector airtime above that hill, and then it's followed up by a 270-degree turn, and then into another ejector airtime hill, and then it turns back around into sort of like an overbank element, and then it finally twists back and then turns again into sort of like a switchback or that cutback, I guess you could say, and one final hill, and then turning into the brakes. So it's a very short ride, but what it does in the short duration is just awesome. It's my favorite coaster in the park. I think it ranks over Candemonium. It was so close because Candemonium is such a good ride too, but I just had to rank Sky Rush higher just because of those elements that it provides. I know some people hate these restraints for them crushing your thighs, and I will admit some rides on this Sky Rush have been really bad, but on good rides it just totally makes up for it. So that's my favorite coaster at HersheyPark. So that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys liked it. Be sure to like and subscribe and share. Let me know what other ideas you want to be made on this channel. You know, I've been to other parks such as Carowinds, Knoebels, Dorney Park, and other parks. So let me know if you want me to do other ranking videos for other parks, or just any other ideas you have about HersheyPark or anything like that. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace, guys. I also just want to give a few mentions to some YouTube channels who, inspired my, I guess, like, my enthusiasm for roller coasters. So I'll name them right now. The Rye Guy, The Hershey Addict, HersheyPark Enthusiast, Coaster Studios, Airtime Thrills. Those are some that come to my mind. Also Theme Park Crazy. So thank you to all those YouTube channels who inspired my taste for coasters, and I'll see you guys next time.